Wait, switched over to live? Jeez. Sorry about that, people. I thought I was in the section where you choose basically a lot if it's for kids or not. And apparently, it already switched over to live. That's what it does. Alright, let me get you over here, get my stand set up correctly. Those in here still adjusting my stand. Jeez. Locked it correctly. Sorry about all the movement. Trying to figure out what in the world. Why is it that every time you go to set your stand down, there's the most jacked up stuff you could think of that's under your desk that throws your stand off center. Alright, let's get the zoom in on this. There we go. Alright, so what we have here is part of the Quantum color collection, which are going to start working on today on the website, which I got to start getting all that updated for the new shopping cart. The shopping cart is going to have 4 colors in it. This is a free color option, which you can choose exactly what color you want. I'm going to go back to the beginning of this demonstration right here. All right. So you can pick out which color you want. And the colors that are going to be available is going to be screen color under black Jade, midnight rose gold, deep blue Cinemax, black hazel, and black hazel. So those are the colors that we're going to have. I have a detailed description below of explaining everything about the product, what its capability is going to be. Now we do Picos. Picos are done at certain sizes because again, when people do Pico projectors, they really leave out a ton of information that you're supposed to know about. And we'll talk about more about Picos we have from here. Most likely when I watch Pico projectors are in dark environments, of course, because that's the only way you're going to be able to pick up that screen size. You're literally going to have to be in a dark environment to do it. For the environment, that screen's gone. It's not even there. Remember, you're operating off a projector that's under like 500 lumens, so there's no way you can operate that in a full lit environment. We use Pico projectors for tabletop displays. They're fantastic because they're not huge, they don't take up a lot of room, they don't burn a lot of heat. That's why we like them. So we have on our description, you'll see where it says Pico projector lumen requirement, which is 50 and up, and it requires a certain screen size for the screen to activate correctly. As for everyday use of projectors, 1,000 lumens. That's what we usually rate at 1,000. And of course, since we're in a commercial environment, well, that basically helps a lot because then it shows our technology can operate in fully lit environments. I'm going to be pushing the screen a little closer over so we can have light making contact with the screen. I got those demonstrations and pictures to take today. How about that? This product is not fully done. This product actually is going to be altered and changed by Monday. We do want it to be a lot darker because it's light, it's okay, but it's not my cup of tea. I do want it to be a little bit darker. As I said before, we're blessed with technology and we're blessed with the ability to be able to change technology at will. Like we can turn these invisible if we want. But we already have invisible technology, which is a 15% over there. TV technology has invisible capability. So that stays there. We need something separate. And we decided to expand the collection line of quasars. Because I explained before that the quasar technology that you're seeing behind this screen has multiple different ways that it can be developed. And it can change its color, which we're going to be showing off pretty soon. The ability that the screen can actually change its color, which we're doing right now. Pretty soon, we're doing it right now. At a screen that's 5% completed. So, projectors required? No expensive projectors required. Right now, I'm doing a personal challenge to myself that I can only buy projectors under $200. We're going to be posting our receipts to show at the end of the day that that's all I had to spend. So, having a ball. This projector right here cost me $50. I got another one just like it on the floor that has a longer zoom lens to it. That cost me $60. That's it. My Pico projector I have here sitting on the table. This cost me $40. And the Sonic, which I've had for quite a long time, cost me $75. All the projectors in here are under $200. And this is the image you'll be able to achieve using our technology. As you saw me paint down a simple United States Postal shipping box. We like to use those because the print, anything with print on the other end, if you have to go over that surface multiple times to erase the print, there's a problem there. You should be able to hit it one time and you're done. You shouldn't be going back over the same spot over and over and over and over and over again. That's a red flag right there. And the screen is not the traditional color of everyday screens. The screen's kind of like, it's a brownish kind of gold color to it. When we get done with it, it's going to be dark brown. Or a dark chestnut, deep dark brown. Now what we have to make sure in our tests when we're dropping this at low lumen projectors that it's able to read in a fully lit environment and it can maintain its white levels. One of the problems you will have with screens that have different colors is the fact that the screens will basically pick up that tint, like wearing red sunglasses or blue sunglasses. Everything has a bit of a tint of blue to it. You'll see it. That's why we bring up these high white levels. We have to do something to white surface. The white surface will tell us if the screen is tinting, which is now a new word for us, tinting. Due to the fact that we have color screens. We've done this before. We had screens called exotics a long time ago. This is different. It's under ILE technology. It can take in a lot more light. So those are the colors we're going to be starting off with. We'll have more colors as they go along. When you go into the shopping cart, when it's available, look at the reds pop off this. When you go into the shopping cart, you will notice something that says free color screen option. You can select your colors from there. Now the sizes that we chose. The size for the product is going to be in 24, 32, and 50. 50s of our products. I can't say for everybody else's, but we do paint downs to make sure we know how much paint we have to do this, say this. So, 24 is going to do 120 inch screen, 32 is going to do 150 inch screen, and 180 ounces is going to do a screen of 50 ounces, my bad. 180 ounces, whoa. Anyway, 50 ounces will do a screen size of 180 inches. That's way too much paint. 180, that's over a gallon. A gallon is like 128. It's way over that. Now, as you saw in the application, if you saw me, I'm going to do a couple more paint down demonstrations on the product. Fast, quick, paint over it, be done, throw it up against the screen, watch it process right in front of you. Projector we're using in the demonstration, which I get asked about my projector all the time. That is my projector. It is, let me pause this right here. It is a Chrissy LW400. As you can see, we're not using any form of HDMI port on the back. There we go. So as you can see, we're using a VGA to HDMI port. Some people don't want to use these. They want to go straight HDMI because they figure the signal's going to be higher. It's this technology basically produces the most incredible detail to your screen. As you can see, we don't require that. So if I buy an SVGA projector, which most of them we have in here don't have HDMI ports, we don't need them. That's something you have to have. I used to believe that. I had to have an HDMI port to get a higher resolution. Nope. And it has one big donut. Yeah, it is big donut. I'm walking up to watch. I thought it was a hamburger bun at first. That's a huge freaking donut. It's a homer. Now, as we get these are already done. We already have formulas already for them. They're ready to go. I'll be showing them off pretty soon on these surfaces right here because we can stack them quite nicely. I don't want big screens there to be all over the place. We are also too going to be showing off a new form of Quantum Black, which is a spray-on application. It's a highly concentrated formula. It is going to be used for floors, ceilings, and most people are excited about this, inflatable projection screens. You can convert your inflatable projection screen, whether it's front or rear, into a black technology. And if you've seen some of the promo demonstrations on us converting blacks on white projection screens, especially inflatables, over to black technology, it's amazing what you can do with it. Again, no expensive projectors to fix any mistakes or problems that the screen may be having. You can use it in daytime hours, as you can see in our demonstrations. We've used them in daytime hours, but no problem. And again, all your colors are going to be intact. See how bright that red is? See that shine coming off that red? That's what you're supposed to be receiving at 720p. And if you have to buy an expensive projector just to hit those marks, you're already told from the door your stuff doesn't work. Now we do tons of demonstrations in fully lit environments. We have enough basically. Well, I got more demonstrations with the lights on the outside than I need another hole in the head. But anyway, so we've been requested for partial lit environment. Again, easy demonstration to do. Lights out, extremely easy. As we showed you the first test run on the product, we showed you a white surface, we showed you with the lights on, lights off, mid lighting, the whole 9 yards, everything. Comparisons with the screens, you're supposed to see all that. So everything we did in that other demonstration, we first showed off the product, you're literally supposed to see that much. If you're not getting that much, well, that's amazing. If you're not getting that much information on a product that they just developed, there's something wrong with it. Walk away from it. Because they'll never batch number it. Oh, heck no, you can't batch number that thing. You need to see that comparison. When you do a comparison against a white screen, it's never supposed to match your white screen or even come close to it. It's supposed to be a massive difference between night and day, even if the lights are out. And I've literally seen screens match white screens, even when they're gray. I've watched them match. And that's what's different from the door. We'll show you the contrast levels for your max out environment. No way in the world we're going to be sitting in some dark environment with a high-end projector claiming that you're going to get this contrast level when we know darn well that's a lie. So that's another thing you have to watch out for. Request those contrast levels with the lights on. You got to see what your contrast levels are like. Better you find out before you buy than you buy and then find out. So this technology is designed to make your screen look incredible when the projector is on and incredible when the projector is off. I had some people telling me they're going to do custom frames for their colored screens. So can't wait to, they got doing, I can't wait. I got to put in a showroom to show off our customers for the color technology. One of the things I hate talking about on camera is when I say fully lit environment, and definitely, you know, the various partially dark, even though I do tons of demonstrations with the lights on, that bugs me. You know, that on camera is one of the things that bugs me the most is when I'm talking about fully lit environment and I got to do partial lit. It drives me nuts to do demonstrations in the dark and partial lit because it's easy. It's no challenge for me. It's boring. Where all the screens we've seen so far have to be in these environments that they turn these lights on like we're doing right now, this screen's gone. I guess they're vice versa. They don't like it when people say, hey, put the lights on. They go, not really, you can't put the lights on. It's designed for an ambient light controlled environment. Da, 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 da. We can do both. Now, even when I get people at the end of the day in forum sites will sit there and say, well, hey, you know, your projector, my projector is running an eco mode at 2500 lumens. I dropped this projector at 4000, hit a white and gray screen, and it couldn't read the color red. I dropped it next to that quasar over there, that technology over there, the quantum over there, at 50 lumens at white and gray, and it wouldn't pick up. At 50 lumens, it wouldn't read. And I've done demonstrations at 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 lumen projectors right up on top of the screen, and it still couldn't pick it up. Ultra short, those Picos, we did already. I haven't been on site with gray screens. If you've seen the promo demonstrations, we've been on site a couple of times with gray and white screens. They won't read an environment. And even next to the color technology, let's get a white surface out here so we can show a white surface comparison. Because that's the screen we're pretty much going to be bumping into all day is a white screen. Hold on for a minute. Let me grab me. Let me see. Let's see. I'm gonna go pick up some of my track sneakers and begin my walk. I'm gonna break my my app system. Can't get another one, so I'll break this one. Gotta do 24. We're gonna break the 24. Alright, white sheet of paper, because that's pretty much we got to do is on a comparison. We did gray in here, I did it already, but most likely when they come in here, they want to see white screen. What's our comparison? Let's show you. And this is on every surface we do. We're going to show you the contrast level comparison, color, same thing like you saw in the other one. You see the exact same thing. Test run. You'll be able to see those. Test run is the same thing you will see when we put the batch number verification. You will see a test run. You'll see it's coated surface about that size. You'll see it sit with the projector, and you'll see it show the white levels, contrast, the whole 9 yards. So you can see mainly you'll see a ton of demonstrations on white levels. Because white levels have to be displayed when you have a screen of a different color, because you want to make sure that those white levels aren't coming up tinted. I've seen a few people try to make colored screens. Skip the entire process of the white level demonstration. Just skipped it. You know that protects you, right? That protects your company. It's literally like designing a car with a crumple zone, and you've never tested it. You didn't put crash dummies into it. You didn't put it on a giant slingshot and throw it toward a wall. You didn't do any of those tests. You just skipped all that and just went to promote the product and put it out there. So someone's driving and their car crumbles up like a wet piece of newspaper. How are you going to defend yourself in court? Well, do you have any testing proving that their theory is incorrect? How does that work? That's why you got to test your stuff. I tell you, look, if you're doing it as a hobby, because somebody kept going back and saying they were hobby. They kept using the word hobby every time they talk hobby. The minute you exchange money or currency of any kind, now you're going to have to be able to show your product actually does fully function as you have explained it by detail in your specifications. And if you do not do this, this will be under the guidelines of fraud. So what you need to do is you need to contact the division they have for fraud, have a long conversation with them and explain to them, and they'll tell you right from the door, can't do this, can't do that, make sure that's there, yeah. The minute that currency starts transferring through, you got to make sure you can back your stuff up. And it has to be a backup to the point where you can fight this in court. Mind you, you're going to court, you're fighting for your life. You have to understand that. You are literally fighting for your life. Your reputation, all that gets outed in court. So you have to make sure your stuff works. And they want to see those tests. The judge will request your test. Because the person is going to file a complaint against you. It's going to say, well, that stuff was never tested. That's what we did the test run. Every screen that I've ever did, you can go back and check my YouTube channel. You watch it, say, hey, we got this new product right here. We'll paint the screen down, dry it on camera, you can see all that. And then we'll go and put those certify against it with the white levels, we'll do projector swap out, all that stuff. Because you have to know your stuff. That's how you're able to upgrade your product. That's how you're able to basically add new things to it, because you can see all the areas that need to be fixed. When they slam that car into a wall, they go, okay, I can see right here, the front end just pushed right in. We need to fix this. Maybe we do a reinforced steel barrier right there. That'll help basically with the impact when the car hits a wall. Or if they do a side and the car crumbles, it bends in half, better the crash dummy than your family. That's why stuff has to be tested. So as you can see, we can be in a fully lit environment where my customers and people come in for contracts for the company. They can clearly see the screen under a ton of lighting, and they can see a white surface, the same white surface they have at their business, the same thing. Now, we get this from time to time. It's a white sheet of paper, it's not the same as a certified screen. I have certified white screens in there. We do them side by side, you can't tell one from the other. I've done this already. I've been literally through this already. On white screens, we're saying, well, no, it's not the same. At 2.0, 1.0 is completely different. No, it's all the same thing. I've done that test. White sheets, white t-shirts, you name it, I had everything up there. White paint, it all matched. They all do the same thing. They can't recolor, they don't pick up contrast, nor do they ambient projection, so it's the same thing. So you can see we get our nice beautiful colors in there. Our technology. And you'll get a chance to see each shade, how it reacts to contrast. So first one, each one of them have to go through the test run. After they go through their test run, then you will see them compared together to see exactly which ones have better contrast, which ones have better color, so forth and so forth, white levels, all that. You can show it right there. You can see that because I'm asked all those questions all the time when I'm in form sites. That's why I like going to form sites. I love form sites. From sites, I get asked all the crazy questions. And these are people who ask questions, not insults and carrying on and acting up like little immature children at the end of the day that I deal with on here. These are people that ask questions. Now, I do have people ask us questions, and the comment sections, we do answer those. Thank you so much. We appreciate the feedback. But then, you know, every once in a while, you're going to get something called the jerk. And the jerk, all he does is just going to ask us the dumbest questions. We don't even respond to you. We just block you and move on. We don't respond. Why would I waste my time? Time is precious. I don't have time to waste on that mess. If you can't answer a question correctly, then this is the reason why you get blocked. Didn't I just do a video on that, on reason why we block people? Yeah, we did. We actually posted the person. So that's the reason why we don't answer questions. You want questions? Your questions answered? Be an adult. When you're in class, you ask the question correctly, right? You don't go to go blah, 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 blah. Teacher's gonna look at you like, okay, we can see we got one of these in the class today. Go see the principal. That's where you're going. So go see the principal. I don't have time to educate people at the end of the day who do not know what to learn. They just want to carry on and act up. But as you can see, the white surface comparison, it doesn't even touch this technology. Mind you, this technology is not in the category of traditional screens. Now keep in mind, a customer is not the person you got to worry about. The companies will take other companies' support to do it in a hot second. And so they can have your name posted forever in court documents from public domain. That's what happened to Valve. Valve went and made a whole bunch of statements about their projector being a 6,000 lumen ultra short throw. And yeah, anyone that's been around projectors can clearly pick that up. We saw it. There's no way in the world that projector's 6,000 lumens. I've been in front of 6,000 projectors before. How many people, of average customers, have 6,000, 70 projectors laying around? They don't. We had 70 projectors laying around, so we've been around 6,000 before. I know what 6,000 looks like because I've walked in front of 6,000 lumens. There's no way in the world that projector was 6,000. That entire wall, hitting a white wall at 6,000 on ultra short, are you kidding me? That entire environment would have been backlit. The walls and everything, the whole area would have been reflecting light everywhere. It was coming up way too low. The fact that they had to have lights on in the environment around the screen, yeah, corners were dark, yeah, it wasn't one of the 6,000. Epson saw it too. Just what Epson told the court, and they lost. It's on a court document everywhere. You can read up on it. And it shows that they sued a couple other companies. They sued a few of the companies they sued. That one we didn't like, that one called VAKO, whatever that projector's called. But anyway, we did that one. We did unboxing on that projector. Yeah, that projector was garbage. It was garbage. The focus ain't working. And on top of that, they have plastic lenses, which again, that's a first bad sign when you get a plastic lens. That's a kid's projector. Now, they're fantastic if you're getting a projector for your kids. That's nice and all, you know. But other than that, let's see what we got over here too. Oh, most important, color. Let's get some color here. Are we hooked the mics on here? There we are. Slow color changer. Because colors is what washes out the fastest. When I watch projection screen setups, I watch other people's demonstrations, and that color washes out extremely fast in fully lit environments. And you're going to have to do that white level, white surface comparison. Doing it by yourself doesn't work. You have to be in a fully lit environment when you do these. And you see, you already know what's going to happen. Here we go. That's our difference. That's our surface versus white. And that right there, that color right there, is called black hazel. It's not done yet. It'll be redone by Monday, probably finished. Actually, I plan to have that one finished by Monday. The rose gold, actually just all of them, just get them all done. I have them completed, ready to go. So at least we have 4 of these surfaces already coated. So that's the difference. The people who come here to watch some of these demonstrations, and demonstrations I have pretty soon coming up on a showroom. Well, we can't darken that showroom. And people do that. I've watched it. I watched it with this one. I forgot what the company was. The Elite Screen was one of them. That was in a showroom. They had, the environment was dark. You could see it was dark. They had white lighting in the corners to give off the illusion that the area was well lit. They're known for doing that a lot. They did that a lot. I've noticed that. The ABS forums, they were doing some setup over there in their booth. And they had white lights in the corner on ultra short throw setups. I'm like, wow, that's pretty bad. That tells us right there, that's pretty bad. Your projector's literally kissing the screen. You have to darken the environment, the white lights in the corner to give off the illusion that the area is well lit. That's pretty bad. That tells us how bad your screen is running. So Elite Screens, if you ever pop in and watch one of these demonstrations, just so you know, no disrespect, you do make a good product and all, but your ambient light rejection is absolutely horrible. It's horrible. Because when I saw that demonstration, and they had all the lights on, they were setting everything up. Of course you had all the lights on to see what you're doing. But the minute they did the showroom setup, all the lights are out, and they had these little tiny lights. Because they had lights in the middle of the walkway, because, you know, they got to light that up. But they had little lights in little corners. Each one of these projectors were put into these little corners, and they had lights in the corner. That, no. You can't do that. And claim to be ambient light rejection technology, no. That's an altered environment. So what happens if the everyday Joe takes that screen home, hits it with a projector? It can't be in a flooded environment because his screen will disappear. That's why we don't see him on YouTube. I've asked for people to beat our promo demonstration, Ultima GT 5500 outside. No one's beat that yet. There's a challenge on that one too, is no one's beat it. Got those projectors? Go outside, set the screen, the other thing against the wall. Show me what you paid for it. Pay $5 grand for a projector? Yeah, show me what you paid for. $3,000 for a projector, $3,300 for a projector. What did you pay for? What did you buy? Everybody has 2 million to 1 of these P2 projectors. Not one person has shown me a demonstration with that projector in an environment like this showing a star field. What did you pay for? Because I'll be darned to spend $3,300 for a machine, even $5 grand for a machine. I'm gonna be stuck in the dark all day. I'm like stuck in the dark with Pico. Way lower than those projectors. Let's get partial lighting. Lights out. Let's see lights out. We get this all the time. I'm gonna be in the dark anyway. What's the difference between your screen and being with the lights out? That's the difference. That's how much improvement our technology gives you over a white screen. Big difference. Demonstrations don't last long. The minute we show that off, and the first thing that comes out is how much. When can you get it when you set it up? We don't set anything up. You paint the screen, and how you paint the screen? Here you go up on a surface, give them a roller, knock yourself out. They roll it in, do they paint their own screen, and set it up, and they're done. That's it. That's how fast it is. As you've seen, it takes some time at all. Two things that'll break a screen. Actually, two things to break a screen. Instructions is one, and shipping is the other one. If it's too hard to ship, if it costs so much money, you'll never get it off the ground. And if the instructions are too insane, no one's going to touch it. They won't go near with a 10-foot pole. That's like the equivalence of having a china cabinet. You're going to have a china cabinet that takes probably 4 pieces to snap it together, or you can have one that sounds like a Lego set in a box. Which one you want to put together? I think I'd rather go with the one that has 4 pieces and basically over 4,000 pieces staring me in the face and a bunch of instructions, a thick book and all. That's overwhelming at the end of the day. You're like, oh my goodness, like, really, I got to put this together? I'm going to be here all day. This is my whole day right here. Yeah, people don't like to go through crazy instructions. So when you're telling people, see, the thing about what people don't understand is when you make a product seem complicated, people want it to sound complicated so it sounds like the product is really high end. That's old stuff. They did that way back in the day with blue screen. That's old stuff. That's what they do. That's why they do it that way. But to the customer, it's a different story for them because it's a headache. And the customer, especially if you got one that's basically, it could have painted walls before, but they think this is different. This is a different product. It's going to require a different type of instructions. Keep in mind, when you paint your walls, you get those kind of instructions like painting the screen. No, you get these crazy pour a puddle size dinner plate and lines and all this stuff and go to the top, to the back, to the front, to the side, and start up in the middle. And that crazy nonsense. Up to hit. It feels like you're a Nintendo and you're basically pressing the buttons for infinity continues on a freaking Contra. But you don't do that when you paint a wall. What do you do when you paint a wall? You take your paint, you put it in a pan, you move your roller back and forth, you take the excess off, and just hit the wall with it. That's what you do. Do you go through any complicated instructions? No. Basic instructions is basically just priming the surface first. If you got one coat application, primer and everything built in, you don't have to worry about priming anything. Just go over top of it and you're done. But it's a very easy process. When it comes to screen paint, the process is a freaking nightmare for some people. So the thing about it is, if a person's doing something for the first time, they're going to be nervous. They're going to be afraid they're going to make mistakes. And when you're talking about paint that you can buy for like 30 bucks, 20 bucks, whatever, $30 for household paint is expensive. 40, 50, that's expensive. For everyday household paint, just to paint your wall is expensive. I paid 80 bucks for paint, just to paint a wall. That's it. So that's expensive. But you're talking about a projection screen paint. So this is a whole different category of paint right here. This is different from your wall, which, again, I can't express enough that you'll have to do those tests because you'll have to be able to back that up because it will come up multiple times in conversations. Well, the same thing like painting my wall, right? It's the same paint. You're going to have to back that up when they make that statement. Well, it's not the same paint. Mine's different. Can you show me what makes it different? There you go. Now you set yourself up for something pretty bad that you can't back up. You back us up all day long on that. But anyway, so a customer is going to be nervous. They're going to be nervous the first time painting in a projection screen. They're nervous. They're afraid they're going to make mistakes. And you have to build that confidence level up that they're doing a fantastic job, that they're getting it done. They need to feel that they basically apply the surface, get excellent results from the door to know that the product is working. Now, if I got to paint over a surface 9 or 10 times over the same surface, if I'm watching somebody paint over the same surface, the surface he painted down was about a 2x3. That's nothing. That's a small screen. These are 43 inches. If you measure them by an actual TV screen, they come in at 43. But they're actually around 24 by 36. So this is a good size. So the size, yeah, was much smaller. And he had to pass over that over 20 to 30 strokes, we counted, of how many times he rolled over that same surface. Should have had that painted, no time at all. Boop, 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 done. That's because the paint wasn't taking. It kept streaking, it kept changing colors, and he was rolling back over the surface to try to get it to take when it wasn't taking. That's the problem he was having in the video. But a customer going through that from the door, and they're not getting those results from the door, it's going to panic. Especially if you contact somebody and says, hey, look, I'm painting and my original wall is pushing through. I don't think this is working. And you say to them, well, you're not really painting the screen. You're just pushing the paint around to get the surface wet. You know what I'm talking about. I've heard that. Now, what would your reaction be? If someone told you that your screen that you're painting in, you're not painting it in, you're just pushing paint around just to get the surface wet. Wouldn't the surface be wet if you started to paint it to begin with? That doesn't make any sense. You're not putting out wallpaper. You're painting in the screen. Sometimes the wallpaper, the walls have to be a little bit damp when they put the wallpaper up. Now they just brush it over top the wallpaper. Sometimes they got pre-stick wallpaper. They have different types of it now. But anyway, you're not putting out wallpaper. You're painting in a wall. So you got to go through all that. It needs complicated instructions. Make sure you get the size of a dinner plate. Customers can get to a point where they can be off-center, where they get nervous, or if they pour down a dinner-sized plate, which you gave a precise size, 1/4 or 1/8 of a size, say they go over that, they'll think they damaged your screen. Because they just went over just a little bit, they think they're going to damage the screen. When it's basically the product is giving off poor results. They think they did it. And that's why instructions have to be simple, and they have to be easy, and you have to get outstanding results. When we paint our surfaces down like that cardboard box yesterday, did I have to struggle with that? No, painted in, stuck it against that, blended in, boom, done. That's it. Easy. Not complicated. You're painting in a wall, you're painting a screen, not building a rocket or designing an atom smasher, which I was actually studying that yesterday, the difference between fusion, nuclear fusion, and they got something called visual fusion, which is crazy. Visual nuclear fusion, that's crazy. Well, I'm telling you, for energy, literally energy, some fascinating stuff going on in this world, man. They're doing some crazy stuff. But anyway, so you can see, lights out, white screen doesn't work at all. All right, now, they're doing the water going to do white levels, but might as well, we're there, we're going to do it right. Let's see, 4K snow screensavers. All right. There you go.
Finding the things you and your family need to be well is kind of a big deal. Finding ways to save.
Now, of course, this frustrates some people. They get mad when I talk about this, but it's the truth.
Extra good deals at CVS.
They be angry with the truth. The truth is the truth. I've read through, literally, multiple times. I actually have copied and pasted the entire instruction sheet on the form site. So people can see that madness. Like, there's no freaking way in the world I'm painting that in. In the video that wasn't missing, the video that shows them painting the screen, what disappeared? We got copies of those videos. We posted them. They're right there. The guy looked at it like, oh heck no, why is he passing over the surface over and over again? Can you imagine if you're watching a demonstration of somebody painting a wall? And in that one spot, there must have been passed over that wall maybe 5 or 10 times over that one spot over and over and over again. What would you be thinking? First thing to pop up in my head, the paint's cheap. It's weak paint. The surface must be pushing through. And that's what happened in the video. In the video, when I watched it, I saw that the surface underneath was gray. And I saw all these little white spots popping up on the top. And then I realized that that was actually the primer underneath pushing through the screen. The reason why he was requiring for you to do a heavy roll was to get the surface to apply into the surface, and a light roll, because the less restriction that you put on the roller, the less chance you have of the white surface or gray surface and then pushing through. The roller would have less contact. We know that stuff already. You know why I know it, Mr. Rogers? Because I did a child protective wall. I did one of those. That's when I learned in the day that you got to prime those walls before you paint over them, because the coating that they put on it causes the paint to separate. Even if your product is very thick and well made, it still causes it to separate, because that's a product that's put up there to keep the wall, that you can wipe it down, whatever they have in there, to keep nothing from sticking or embedded into the wall. So in order to paint one of those, and some projection screens have them too, I think Silver Ticket has that coating on them. When you paint over those screens, I tell customers never force. Do a light coating first. And when that light coating dries, then you paint over top of it. That's what you have to do. But the more you force on it, the more it's going to separate. It's going to keep fighting. Okay, back. So yeah, you put a light coating application on the first, and you paint over top of it. I went through with Elite screens, and mainly Silver Ticket. A lot of the screens have that coating on it. And I had a child-proof wall one time, and I was like, oh snap. Because when you hit it, and you paint down on it, it'll separate right on top of it. I was like, oh, it's a child-proof wall. And then you have to go over top it lightly. Now you can paint over top of it, it can, but it's a bit of a headache because you have to do it multiple times to get the surface to stay, but you have to light roll it. If not, you add any friction to that and you will see that surface push right through. And that's what I realized what he was doing. And they request a heavy roll and then a light roll, just put them wrong with the paint. That's the first thing we pick up. Because whenever you ever painted a wall, you had to do a heavy roll first and then go back over top and do a light roll. It's bad enough when you get done painting a room, you're tired. You're exhausted because that was a lot of work. Next, the instructions. Repainted screen walls all over again with a light roll. You're like, oh heck no. I'm not doing that. I need to get a paint spray and put time in there. Too much work. There's our white surface right there. Let's go get ourselves another one. I love showing white surfaces off in this technology. Now, the reason why I put all that in there, because number one, these videos help the customers out. Customers can come in and get all types of information, things they need to look for when they're watching demonstrations. Also put this in here for people that are thinking about going in the field of making screen paints. If you're thinking about just slapping some colors together or whatever you're going to do and hitting it with the high power projector, merging into a dark environment, you got lawsuits coming your way, just so you know that. You can be sued very easily. You have to be able to back that product up. If you're claiming to have a gray screen, you're going to have to show that your product is not going to match any Benjamin Moore, Sherman Williams, Home Depot, any of that stuff, you're going to show significant testing that your product's not matching that. I've tested some products, some certified paints. I've tested your products off camera against everyday house paint, and you don't like the results. Couldn't tell one from the other. Now, if you're interested about our tests are posted directly to our website. Heck, they're posted everywhere. I'm about to do a short promo video in a few minutes of showing our testing on black paints and all that stuff. But our tests are everywhere. If you're not seeing them on the website and you just see them on the YouTube channel, the reason why they keep them on the YouTube channel because they want to bury them. They bury them in there. On your website, they're right out there in the open. No one can miss them. No one has to go searching for them. They're right there. So you go to our marketplace, and in our marketplace, you can scroll down, you'll see the tons of demonstrations, which you'll be adding more to them, because this one, I want to got some cool stuff I got coming in for that black technology behind it. I want to do more tests on that one. But you'll see our black versus black test. Now, mind you, we started the black versus black. Well, actually, no, I can't take the credit for that. The Trolls started it. Trolls, big mistake, right? Big mistake. Because they came at us and said, well, what's the difference between your product and black paint? And I said, you know, that's a pretty good idea. And you know what I did? I tested a 7. The videos are right there showing the 7 being tested on black paint. And the 7 beat the crap out of black paint. I thought, oh, I didn't even know we had that capability. Let's find out more. See, instead of basically being afraid to do those tests, we went berserk with it. We started finding all kinds of like fabric and sheet and microfilm and film and everything else, throwing against the screen. I threw Tupperware up there, black plastic, clothing, everything up there. Even tested multiple different versions of black paint. I've done everything from chalk paint, spray paint, nail polish, shoe polish, you name it, I've been through it. Apple barrel multiple times. I'm still trying to figure out if we can get that. I'm still looking for it. I'm waiting for that one. They hit me back on that one. They got this black paint called, what was it called? The Microblend has a black version of it. I want that. I want the demonstrations to get that. And then at that, we started getting bored. Now we're bored. We're doing black on black. Now we're painting into screens. Painting into the screen with our paint. All kinds of crazy stuff that we do with that stuff, man. We've done so many versions of black on black tests that we have overshadowed any gray screen. Anything from basically from everyday screens to all the way up to basically certified screens. None of them has matched any of our black versus black demonstrations. You're supposed to do gray versus gray. You're supposed to match your energy. And you have not been able to match your energy. So we're doing a whole lot more. I mean, when are you going to catch up? Because the last thing you need, if a YouTuber pops up and says, hey, I'm going to make a name for myself. I'm going to test out some of these gray screens. Say, how am I going to do some match house paint? You're doomed. If you come up under house paint, you are doomed. That's what happened to the other one. You know why he pulled that site? He matched the house paint. That'll destroy your product faster than fast can be destroyed. That'll wreck your entire product line and it'll wreck your name. Now, what he should have did, he could have came back from that. He could easily came back from that. Got to be honest. If his product matched that Network Ray 773, it matched the bare silver screen, which it did before that. And again, that not testing yourself, being bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, being basically full of arrogance, he embarrassed the daylights out of himself. They want the red hoodie on. He does not like that video at all, period. What we got is posted. But he thought his product wasn't going to match. Dude, I was making gray screen paint before you ever existed on YouTube. I've been making it way before you've ever existed on YouTube. So that tells you my experience level on gray paints are far higher than yours. If I pop a container of paint and I tell you your stuff's going to match, it's going to match. Was I wrong? I was right. It did match. And he went up there, told me I didn't know what I was talking about, and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, there you go. There you go. Self-destructed, imploded right on camera. And then it got so bad he was messing with the camera and all. It's crazy. You can see it on the blacklist. It's on there. But anyway, this is why you got to test your stuff. He didn't test his stuff. He had tested his stuff. He'd have realized he'd have matched that stuff. He'd have never did that demonstration. So the other paints, we did 3 of them. The other 2 paints weren't tested. The Metallica and Personal Mix. He never tested those on that Network Gray. He only did 1 of them. And that was the end of the demonstration after that. Now, the problem you have right there, if your product never matched If it was able to beat the house paint, you would see tons of demonstrations on it. Why would you not show that off? You mean to tell me you have a grade paint that was able to beat another grade paint, and you were able to show massive difference in contrast and color? Those videos would have been everywhere. So how come with just a few videos they disappear? Because you know they matched. And the reason why the other ones weren't done, because I guarantee off camera he did those tests and we found that they also matched. After customers saw that, that was the end of it. That's what ended them. Nobody would buy from them after that. We checked. We went back and I did a YouTube video where I said if anybody else had that paint in that particular timeline when that happened, no one had it. No one bought it. Because they can just go to Sherwin-Williams at the same thing. And anyone who didn't like them could easily crush his company, because they can just buy the network grade 773 and put anything in it. Put a little silver in there, put extra black in there, put a little high-end mica in there, and they would have basically been to beat his product, because the basic was able to take his product. Anything they add to it would take his product. That's just basic common sense in business. Yeah. So, yeah, matching apple barrel, stuff like that. The microblend slip silver, all that stuff. You matching that stuff, you are doomed. And mind you, these demonstrations have to be done live, on camera. That's how they have to be done. So you think anyone's going to sit there in a live camera, on live, and show a container of gray paint and paint their screen alongside of that so everybody can see it on YouTube and beyond? No, they're not going to do it. They're going to avoid it. Problem you have is that if a customer buys it and they do it, you're in trouble. Because how would you back your product up? That's why if a customer buys our stuff and they put black paint and says, hey, this is how your product came up, we got tons of demonstrations testing against black paint. We know darn well what black paint looks like. We can protect ourselves. We can walk in the courtroom and say, here's my can of paint right here. You're going to paint that screen right over there for us. Show us how it reacted the same way yours did. And then we're going to have you put black paint right next to our screen and paint it in. Hey, you're going to do it. And you'll see every time you put that black paint, when you pull that white level, our screen doesn't match it. Top of that, we have a batch number. Batch number guarantees our product is protected. It's a guarantee to our customers. So good luck getting around those things. That's the case. If a lawyer finds out that our stuff is batch number, we send them videos showing the product being batch number, I guarantee you, I bet you $100 that your lawyer drops your case. Because he can't win. He knows it from the door. He'll sit there and say, well, Mr. Bird, from that batch, how many returns did you get? None. Just him. You lost that fast. You know why? Because that's like getting a container of cherry Kool-Aid. Everybody got cherry, but for some reason you're complaining you got grape. What are the odds of you winning that lawsuit? Well, how many people returned that cherry Kool-Aid? None. So just that one person, yes, and they're claiming they had grape and everybody has cherry. Good luck on that one. That's why the penalty for violating one of those screens is $1 million, because we know we can win that easy. Hey, it's an open and shut case if you violate one of these screens. It's an easy case to win. So, that's how difficult it is to actually win into a batch number. A batch number guarantees the customer 100% that their product is working before they order it. Anybody else doing that for the customers? No. You know why you're not doing it? Because your stuff's not tested, that's why. I'm talking about everybody. Anyone who develops a great paint, whatever screen you develop, I don't care what it is. Can you offer batch numbers? If I'm a customer at the end of the day, I want to see a batch number. I want, especially if I'm painting the screen down to my wall or something. It's me a project for me at the end of the day. I got to paint it down. I mean, it's going on my surface. I paid the money for my screen. I paid the money for my motorized projection screen. It's going on my house wall at the end of the day. I want to know that it's going to work 100%. What is the guarantee you want to give me? You don't have any tests underneath this product, so what do you have to convince me to put that in my environment? So, especially when you have an awful return policy, or no exchange policy, I can't even ship the item back. So why would I give you money at the end of the day? Again, people were questioning me on that. I was like, who in the right mind bought that paint with that shipping policy up there like that? Did they read that shipping policy? We did. It wasn't a long. It wasn't. That's the thing. It wasn't a huge shipping policy. It was only 4 paragraphs in it. It's simple and plain to the point. So if you open it up, you're stuck with it. If it lands on your product, no. Even PayPal wouldn't honor that. PayPal have read that and they were like, no, we ain't honoring this. There's no give room for the customer. It's only designed that the merchant makes money. You don't get your money back. No. I like this right here. I gotta do an outcurve screen for this. We need an outcurve screen. I haven't built an outcurve screen for so long. I gotta do one. Oh yeah, you have to do them by 96. 36 by 72 could do an outcurve. Oh yeah, we're gonna do an outcurve. I haven't built one of those in a long time. You've never seen an outcurve? Go to my YouTube channel. We did curve projection screens. That's another thing too. If you're asking for experience on curves, can they help you out with that? No, they don't do curves. We've done them. I designed a screen called an outcurve. I'm designing one. It takes one projector too to operate too. You have to have 2 projectors. Yeah, I'm doing outcurve. That's something we use for outcurves right there. But anyway, where we at for time? Oh, we're doing pretty good. We're doing fantastic. Fantastic. So yeah, I explain everything on my channel. I talk to the customers, and I talk to people who sell products. I talk to both of y'all. Customers, the same thing that I ask them, the same questions that I ask them, it's the same questions you ask them. You want a batch number verification. Number 1, that's what you want. Make sure you get what you paid for. When you go out and buy a car, a house, whatever you're buying, at the end of the day, you do all your research to make sure you're getting what you pay for. You don't want to buy a house infested with asbestos, or get a car where basically has all kinds of faulty problems, like the brakes don't work or the transmission might go on you. You don't want that. You do all this research. How many times has this car been recalled? How many times I had a problem with this or a problem with that or whatever? What's the most expensive part on this car that's going to cost me to fix at the end of the day if it happens to break down? What are the odds of me finding parts for this car to fix it to begin with? You want to look through all that. Because you're investing. You're putting money into it. So, this is an investment at the end of the day. You have to make sure you get what you paid for. Request for batch number verification. Request for all tests on that product. You don't want to see multiple tests on the other stuff. No, that particular product by itself, I want to see all testing on this before this product was ever sold to a customer. And you need to find about somewhere between 5 is the minimum, but 10 you need to see. You want to see on different types of projectors. You want to see it in fully lit environments. You want to see color levels and contrast levels, the whole 9 yards, everything. And request batch numbers. You need a guarantee that your product's going to work. Merchants should do this because it protects the merchant from a bad customer. Customers do this because it protects you from a bad merchant. When we started introducing batch numbers, they went off. They went off. They were cursing me out. They're harassing my family, harassing me. Because in the day, they just wanted to keep on ripping people off. And they didn't like the fact they were just putting information out there for the customers, educating them on what they need to know. Yeah, barely a car company, well, actually, it's actually a pretty good idea if you're a mechanic at the end of the day. You could have a class where you teach people to go in and how to shop for cars, what to ask for, how to know the language. Now, if you put that business right between 2 car dealerships, they're going to hate your guts. They're going to really hate you. Now, those people in there that are selling cars honestly 100%, they're not going to be bothered by that. If the business is doing legit and they're selling good cars, nothing, no lemons, stuff like that, they're not bothered by that. But a person who is doing that kind of stuff, they're going to be terrified of your business at the end of the day. Because you just showed a customer how to walk into their establishment and how to understand the lingo, what to ask for, all the important questions. Same thing I tell customers. When you're buying screen paint, this is what you should be requesting. This is what you should be asking for. When you're on eBay, you're buying projectors, this is what you don't want. This is what you want to see from the merchant. So yeah, That car dealership that's not doing right, they're going to be angry with your business. Are you educating customers what to look for? Us, they're going to be angry with us because we asked customers to ask for batch number verifications. And you want to make sure you can ship that product back. Make sure they got a ship back policy. That's our policy. We made that policy. The ship back policy is they can ship the item back and they're tested on YouTube Live for everyone to see. I've done a couple of those. Request it. Companies request it because it's going to mean the difference of you having a good day or extremely bad day. If they fight you and they argue about it, even if they say out their mouth, well, you know, his videos are fake, it doesn't make a difference. Request it. I don't care about him. I'm not asking about him. I'm talking about you. Tell me. That's why a lot of them are pulling out and getting and leaving because, again, they were selling products that were never tested to begin with. Now, if you're being fair and you're saying, okay, well, I have a light gray screen for a gray screen paint. It does require ambient light controlled environments outside. You have to give your time outside. So what time outside does the screen actually activate? Are you picking up 100% contrast levels? What's your color levels? Maybe 1%? Do you have to calibrate? Because if you're telling the customer that they're going to pick up this beautiful color capability and they can't, and then you tell them later they're going to have to calibrate, that's going to make somebody very unhappy. It's like, you know, you go buy something and you be like, well, it does have that capability, but unfortunately, you're going to have to spend more money to get that capability. People hate that.
YouTube ads is made for your business. Bring your brand to
You got to tell them everything. That's why those fake environments, those fake ambient light controlled environments, telling people your stuff actually works? No, you can't do that. You see now, turn all the lights on, partial lighting, lights out, you got to do all that. Now, they use my name, they say, well, his videos are fake. There's your red flag right there. You just got your red flag. Now, if anyone feels that our videos are fake, I'll come buy your stuff. Because I guarantee you ain't buying ours. Because we don't see you put orders in for it. We'll come buy your stuff. And if that's not enough for you, you can go in a courtroom. We got a contract for $500,000. Oh, I'm sorry, that went up. That's $1 million now. We can go to a courtroom and we can do that in a courtroom. I have no problem with that at all, period. You hear the sound of my voice? Do I sound like I'm nervous? No. Anytime. Anytime. You want to walk into a courtroom, Mr. Bird, with my technology? And I guarantee you two things. Your clock's going to get clean in there and you're walking out with nothing when we get done with you. You can approach the bench all you want, then make a difference. You can clean your clock in there. You wasted my time. I'm a very busy person. So if you got shenanigans at the end of the day, well, I'll fix them for you. So if you feel at the end of the day that all our demonstrations are fake, let's go to a courtroom. Let's do all this in front of a judge. You know what this does for me at the end of the day? Number one, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to embarrass you in court because it's going to go on court record. I mean, it's going to be posted everywhere. And I want to use that to my advantage point. Hey, we walked this guy into a courtroom. Yeah. Self-worth 100%. Backed it up on every level. It's going to be a court document on how many people we brought into court and we crushed on that level. And we're definitely going to be using it to our advantage point. We went back and we sued them for $500,000 or $1 million. We want to know, heck yeah, we won. Lost that case too. It's going to make your credibility look horrible. It's going to make us look fantastic. So we ain't got no problem with that. Nope. I'm going to have a field day in there. I'm going to have a ball. I love going to court. I love it. I get to show off my technology, but a whole lot of people get to see it. Yeah. It's awesome. I love it. It's like another day of YouTube for me. That's what it is. Now, we got people that can't sell us product, and they give us back our money because we got canceled receipts over here. You don't have that confidence level. You've already told me everything I need to know about your product. One house in the middle of all that. That is amazing. The upsides and downsides of that picture. People look at that and they just see a picture. Look, they just see a picture. There's so much more. It's a small town. That's a small little town. There's small towns all throughout this entire area. Little small towns. This is incredible. You have to have a doctor. You'd make a killing if you were a doctor out here. You would. Because the problem you had, there's no place to get the airlift someone out of here. I'm pretty sure they have a couple of doctors. We got a hospital down there probably now. That's pretty cool. I like small towns like this. Small towns like that are beautiful in the summertime or all year round. They're beautiful, especially in autumn. Oh, they're gorgeous in autumn. Can you imagine all those leaves turning gold? Man, that'd be gorgeous. I'll tell you one thing. Winter time kicking, I am not going to be inside. I'm going to be all out here. I'm going to be up in the woods somewhere, camping over here. Snowmobiling all up in here. All up in here. I don't sleep, but I do snowboard a little bit. Yeah, right up in here. I'm going to be all over this place, man. Where's he at? He's supposed to be inside there. I'm going to be out here somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Playing out in the snow. Make a snowman army here, build giant forts, all that stuff. What's snow back then? I like being in the snow. Unfortunately, majority of my friends are from the islands. They don't like snow at all. They can't stand it. I freaking love it. So yeah, I'll be out here all day long, man. Come back and change me right back out again. Oh my goodness, we built a giant snow castle. Giant snow castle. And I have a ball. Now hard to do. Building a giant snow castle, you just gotta spray it down with a water bottle or a spray bottle because it hardens it. Puts a hard shell on it. That's how we make snow couches. That's the tradition in my family. We're all snow, in our family we're all snow. We all like to be out in the snow. So you build a snow couch. I don't know if you've done it with your buddies. You build a snow couch and you spray it down with a little water and it puts a hard shell on it. And you sit up there and drink cocoa on it. We set up projection screens when we do it because I do demonstrations out in the snow. Ooh, I just thought about that. We got the portable Picos. We can go anywhere we want. We're going to be all over Allentown with the portable Pico system set up. Yeah, all over the place. All over the place. All over the place. All right, we're past time here, but I'm having fun. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I'm having too much fun on the color technology. Oh man, I'm so excited. We're going to get 4 more of these. The rose gold is going to be gorgeous, man. I got people already lined up all ready for the technology. And as you can see right here, this is 5% done. This is 5% done. Ooh, I'm curious. Certified. We got certified in here. I got to get more certified, but they've been locking me out. Certified, you've been locking me out. Don't appreciate that at all. A couple companies are locking me out, man. They're making it hard for me to get samples. Why are we doing this? I need the samples. Besides, it's not going to be a fair anyway because, again, they'll sit there and say, well, you know, hey, he's got a screen that doesn't even match a traditional screen. Like, there's no screens like these. There's no screens matching. So, for them, it's like it's not a fair comparison because our screens are different color. But, you know, hey, I'm just curious. Inquiring minds need to know. All right, before I come out, I got to do this Surface that's certified. Because yeah, I used to be just going and just getting an Elite screen. Easy. Easy. I just going to just buy one. I can't get it now. There are a couple of places I go now, they made it complicated to get these Surfaces now. Because now, you know, they want me testing. I told you, companies watch you. I told you that. Companies will sit there and watch you. Like, yo, this guy's going and grabbing their sample sheet. We have to make it hard. We can't get it. Yeah. Who else is doing these demonstrations? When people saying, well, it's just you. Who else is doing these demonstrations against that many certified? It's only us doing it. Because nobody won't operate in their environments. They have really high environments. They can operate in much higher environments than that. They can. Those screens have incredible capabilities. But who else is doing it? I can't even say my name. I literally, when I go to buy a sample sheet, I can't mention my name. I won't get the sample sheet. So with that being said, where people call themselves making products, do you have those problems? Because I do. You don't have those problems. See, you know why? Because they don't feel your product. That's why. And the 15%, I think it's an actual nightmare for other screens. Especially if you have great products, you have any form of great products. I don't care if it's certified, screen paint, physical screen. You go against one of those TV technology, your screen's going to alter and change color. Where's my sticky paper? Ah, What's on the floor? What's on the floor? I want to see what a certified looks like next to this screen. Then we got something called the exotic colors. We can't call it exotic colors, right? We can't use exotic. But we got these other colors that are coming out that are part of the Quantum collection. Oh, they're crazy looking. Crazy looking colors. All right, let me see. We're going to remove this one right here. We're going to take this one out. We don't need this. This is the white surface. This gave you comparison right there. We did gray already, so we need a certified. We'll figure exactly what it did with the certified screens. Oh, my mess. There. There we go. This is certified. Yeah, because it was really easy for me to go in and get the lead screen sample. One screen is very hard to get. DMP Supernova. Gee whiz Louise. That's a hard screen to get. That's a really hard screen to get. The Infinity and Blade is no joke. Alright, certified screen we have here. Gunmetal. We have here. And it has a... There we go. There's a Parallax Pure 0.8 sample. Right. And I'm going to tell you something. For people who claim to have made the quasar or quantum, wait a minute, take a look at the quantum technology. I want you to make all these too while you're at it. Because if you don't, and we find that video showing that you claim you made it, I'm taking you to court. So this technology right here, under this black technology right here, this is a part of that product line. Which means all the testing and everything like that, you're going to have to match it. If you can't, we'll see you in court. This is why I tell you, stop doing dumb stuff. Stop claiming you have advanced our technology. You're going to have to advance with us. You don't have that capability to advance. You can't even make black technology. You don't know anything about black technology. So this will cost you a lot of money. So now this thing has another color collection product line at you, which now you're going to have to make that too. Or if not, you're going to be out of this a fake, which you already know you're fake already. But either way, when we get to court, you'll figure it out with the judge. Until then, let's watch this, because this is going to be already. I can see from the door. This screen is, I told you, it's a strange color. As you can see, there's no gray screen. People thought there were dark grays at first when I was looking at it. Like, it's a dark gray screen. So, no, that's not a dark gray. A gunmetal doesn't even match the complexion of this screen. Let's show you how crazy these are. There you go. That it right there is a $7,000 screen. Red screen? You're hooked up. What are you talking about? You're not hooked up. Red screen. There you go. See, the color screens are in the black screen, but even if it's a different color, has the ability to pick up actual color better than an actual certified. You would think a gray screen, a white screen, or one of them would pick up better color next to a screen that's not even the traditional color of a normal projection screen. No, they actually read better color than a certified, way higher than certifieds. And that product's not even done. Mind you, this product's going to be darker. We're going to advance the white levels on it, and white levels going to be much higher than what it is now, because we have to, once we darken, they have to advance that white level. But those color screens can read higher than $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 screens. The minute I go into a form site, these screens are what we call the Trojan horse. We go into a form site, and they look at the color and go, there's no way in the world that's going to be able to beat a gunmetal screen. And we show them that. Changes the opinion quick. Blue screen. Yep. That's how much advancement it has. Color screens have over certifieds. It's a different type of screen. That's what you have to be to show. When you're selling a product, you have to be to show what makes your product different than that everyday product. Have you built a better mousetrap? You know, the whole term, build a better mousetrap and the world is yours. Yeah, we built multiple better mousetraps. That technology right there, not only can it has a beautiful color attached to it that looks even incredible when the projector's off, but when that projector's on, a screen that's $7 grand can't match it. It reads better color. Mind you, it's not even traditional color screen, and it reads a better color level than a screen that is traditional color. I was making coffee. Interesting too, I should have addiction to coffee. I don't even drink it anymore. Let's go over to slow color changer. And these are one of the tests we had to do. We had to show that because the screen has a different color, is it going to be able to, is the certified going to show better? Because the certified is traditional color. So, letting them figure out this theory. The theory is that no, screens can't be different colors. Because again, this would disrupt the color levels, this would disrupt contrast, this would disrupt white levels. They have to be traditional colors. That's why the guy who did the demonstration on our product made the statement by saying at the end of the day that our color levels were low. Buddy boy, you don't know me at the end of the day. You know nothing about me. I mean, I appreciate you doing the demonstration. Thank you so much on that one right there. I do appreciate that. But you don't know me. I can change the color of the screen. I can literally get it to produce color better than a traditional screen. So when he's based off is gray screens and white screens and whatever tradition, I can change the color of my screen and produce color better than a screen that's actually tradition. Also, too, explain how we have a 15% over there that can alter and change gray. Even the silvers can do it. The silvers can alter and change gray. Make them look yellow and unwatchable. So, again, he has me under the guideline of this is how traditional paints. He's stuck in the world of traditionals. We don't do traditionals over here. We got screens that can absorb sunlight at 50 lumens easily. So with that being said, we're not like everybody else. And as you can see with the technology we're showing right here, our technology can easily produce way better color than a certified screen. Take water. So I can go to a forum site, someone's got deep pockets, they can spend $7 grand for a screen. We can get orders from just like that, that quick, just walking there, doop, there we go. I got people right now waiting to get products that we have that we're getting ready to launch pretty soon. How much money you would have saved? $7 grand for a screen? Yeah, that's a lot. Let's go over here and pull up Starfield screensaver. Now, the contrast levels we have on this technology does not match the quantum and the black. The quantum pulls up 100% black. But the black levels that we pick up on this technology can read higher than a certified gunmetal. That's a high gunmetal. That's a very good gunmetal at that. And mind you, again, I told you, this screen's going to be darker than this. So its contrast levels are going to be super ultra dark. But it's technically not going to be dark. They're using shifting technology. So even at the beginning stages, you can overpower a $7,000 screen. $4K snow screensavers. Yep, that's definitely it right there. That sums it up. Inches are expensive. The ILE technology infusion light energy game is a different type of game. It's a completely different type of game. It is designed to absorb light. Even if the screen doesn't have the ability to transfer light through it, it still can absorb light from other screens. Vampire effect. Oh, I don't want to use the word vampire because vampire is so dark on top of that. I've got to think of another name for absorbing light effect. Vampire is a very dark creature. I don't want to involve that in Christianity. What we do at the end of that. We don't want to be using that word. I had the whatever vampire community or what they call themselves at the end of the day. We actually had one in our family a long time ago. Not in our family. My sister actually dated one that was one. But anyway, I'm gonna come back and talk about the certified because I want that to be on its own. I'll be back. Hope you enjoyed. Technology will be out. We don't know when. We have several screens to do, so there's more. But anyway, when they come out, they're gonna be absolutely gorgeous, as you can see. All right, I'll be back. Let's do